Let's see here. Let's see. Okay, I think we are live. Wow, there's already 16 people here. Hello, everybody. Am I coming through clear? Hello, is everything good? Testing, testing, testing. Hello, hello, hello. Alex Crawford, welcome. Leslie, hello. Dex, hello. How is everybody tonight? Am I coming through good? Testing, testing, testing. Hello. Hi, Alex. Hi, Wed. Ethan, hello. The Meme, hello. Adriel, hello. Brandon, hello. Brandy, hello. Joe, hello. Patty, hello. CVG, hello. Let's see how long I can go without having to enable slow mode tonight. Dang, I'm on 62 already. Holy cow. How is everybody tonight? This is Sam from Historic Travels, brought to you live from West Virginia. How y'all doing? Pablo, we'll have a good happy birthday to you, sir. Brandy, hello. Dave, hello. Lane, hello. William, hello. How is everybody? How is everybody doing tonight? Dang on, 78. Holy cow. Sam the man. Awesome. Thanks, man. Patty, hello. Dingo, hello. Skyward, hello. Wow, so many people so fast. Dang on. This is crazy. What's going on tonight, everybody? I hope everybody liked my Empress of Ireland video. What did you guys think? Okay. All right. Slow mode time. Holy cow. I couldn't even leave it running for 2 minutes before I have to enable slow mode. All right, there we go. Slow mode enabled. 45 seconds in between chats. Let's see how that goes. Maritime history. I loved your Empress of Ireland video. Thanks so much, man. Okay, that helped out a lot. Did you guys like the little Easter egg challenge that I put in there? What did you guys think of that? Fox Starline, welcome. And we got our first super chat of the night. Thank you so much, man. Everton boys, 5. Thank you so much. What's your political views? Don't lie. We all know. Okay, well, thank you so much for the 5, man. But there's one thing that I do not do. I do not discuss politics. That's just one thing I do because everybody's got their own opinion on stuff. And no matter what you say, it causes a whole lot of issues. So I do not talk about politics on this channel. But thank you so much for the 5. And hang on one second, guys. I have a guest tonight. Say hello. This is Winnie. Say hi, Winnie. Okay, she really doesn't like this. Okay. That's Winnie. That's my sister's cat. I am currently watching and keeping an eye on her. Well, my parents were watching her, and then they went out of town for a little bit. Then I watched her, and yeah. But that's Winnie. That is Winnie. Let's see here. Joshi, hello. Oh, everybody's like Winnie. She's a cute cat. I love her. She's a cutie. Adorable. Everybody likes Winnie. I am cat sitting. You got that right. Let's see. Padme, good man. Never a good idea to discuss politics. Yep. Joe, enjoyed your videos on the Empress of Ireland. Never heard that story before. Thank you so much. Elemental, hi Sam. Why is the Lusitania in such bad condition? Sam, why is the Lusitania in such bad condition? Okay, Elemental Gaming. Well, that kind of has to do with how the ship sank and also a little bit of conspiracy stuff on it, like depending on what stories you believe. I honestly believe that the Lusitania was carrying weapons. I think it was. And there's more or less some truth to that. Like there is some stuff, records of it in the manifest. However, were the weapons the main cause of the explosion is open for debate. But anyway, I believe it was. I believe the weapons it was carrying was the big cause of the secondary explosion. And there is some reports that there were bombs going off around the site of the Lusitania wreck. Now, was that accidental? Was there a cover-up going on to try to destroy evidence on the wreck of the Lusitania? Who's to say for sure? But honestly, something happened, and they did find unexploded charges around the wreck of the Lusitania. Could that have been a cover-up, or could that have been leftover weapons and mines from World War II? You know, who's to say? But one thing's for sure, bombs were definitely dropped on the wreck, and I really do think that was big reason as to why the Lusitania is in such bad shape. Let's see, Gail, we have storms in the area. I hope they don't get too bad, so I had to turn the computer off. Yeah, a storm just blew through here too not too long ago. David, have you heard about the hole that was found in the Estonia wreck? Yeah, I did hear something about that. When I did the Estonia video, I wasn't aware of all the conspiracies around the Estonia, but then the more I looked into it, there's definitely some strange stuff all about that. I don't know if y'all can hear. That's Winnie. She's like See her tail. Well, now she's gone. Let's see. Taylor, if the Titanic had sunk backwards, do you think it would have had a better chance of staying in one piece? Oh, absolutely. Because I actually made a video talking about this, but the big reason the Titanic broke in half was because the whole front of the ship was weighed down by all that water. And then the back of the ship still had the weight of the big engines, because the back of the ship, or more where the engines are, right around here, this is the center of mass where the ship was. And the heaviest object on the ship is the engines, the heaviest thing on board. So the weight of the engines were actually fighting the weight of the water, fighting to keep the ship on more or less an even keel. Because the ship didn't start to really climb up out of the water till very close to the end. However, if she would have struck at the back, you would have the weight of the engines on top of the weight of the water. The ship would just drop like a rock, and there would be no tug of war, so to speak, between the dead weight of the bow and the stern section fighting, because you've got all the weight of the water in the bow. You've got the weight of the engines, and you have this narrow section right here fighting to keep the two together. Yeah, the ship was going to break. There was no way that structural fail wouldn't happen. Let's see. Coins, hello. Dakota, hello. How long have you been interested in Titanic, Dakota asks? Since I was a little kid, since I was around 6 or 7 years old. I think I saw another super chat. Hang on. Yes, I did. Sebastian, why did the Titanic go down so slow? I kind of already answered that, just talking about how the Titanic had a lot. Well, thank you for the super chat. But there was just a lot of factors on board the Titanic that night. You had the coal fire, the offset of coal on the port side, fighting to keep the Titanic on more or less an even keel during the sinking. You had the weight of the engines in the back, keeping the ship on more or less an even keel, so the weight of the water didn't just pull the ship down right away. The watertight compartments were helping. There was a lot of stuff going on. The crew fighting with the pumps. A lot of stuff happened that night. Leslie, could you do a video on the RMM Oceanic or the Oceanic 3? By the way, hi from Canada. Well, hi, Leslie. Possibly. I believe I already have the Oceanic on my list, but thank you. Let's see. Jamie, hi. Can you please do a video on the sinking of the Carpathia? I'm going to do a whole video on the Carpathia. Do not worry. The Carpathia is coming. Mr. Aiden, hey, Sam, I have a joke for you. Okay. What do you call... wait. I have a joke for you. What do you call Titanic hit an iceberg? The Titanberg. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Is the video quality okay, guys? I see some people are saying that the video quality is bad. Is the video quality bad? How bad is it? Testing. How's the image quality tonight? Like on my end, it looks fine, but it could be the storm that's just rolling over. Let's see. Poor quality. Yes. I mean, guys, there's not much I can do about it at the moment. Let's just keep an eye on it. If it doesn't improve, let me know, because we might have to move the stream a little bit later if the image is too bad. Sound is fine. Image is a tad blurry, but not an issue. Okay. Just keep an eye on it, guys. Let me know how bad it gets. If it's really, really bad, then we'll have to figure something else out. Maybe delay the stream for one evening. Okay, we'll keep an eye on it. Okay, let's see. Raptor, Sam, when will the Carpathia video come out? I love that ship. Did you know the Carpathia saved Cunard from bankruptcy? Also like your videos. I don't have a dedicated date for that yet. I know that the next ship I'm going to cover is the Doña Paz. I'm going to do the sinking of the Doña Paz. You know what's kind of happening is it's like I do 2 videos a week plus a live stream. So it's like there's Titanic during the week and then a random ship on the weekend. So that's kind of where I am on that. It's like I do one or I do the other. So Doña Paz will be next. Carpathia, I'm probably going to talk about whenever I do my continuation series on the rest of the Titanic story. I could do a dedicated video all about the life of the Carpathia. I could do that too. But I was going to talk about the Carpathia when I continue the Titanic timeline. We got another super chat from Derby. Thanks for the 5. Thanks for doing these videos. Your channel really got me interested, and now I'm playing Sinking Ship Simulator, uploading videos on my channel. That's awesome, man. Thank you so much, and thank you for the 5. Sinking Ship Simulator is pretty cool. Colonial, if there was one major disaster that needs a James Cameron-style movie. Oh, gosh. A disaster that needs a James Cameron-style movie. To be perfectly honest, I'd have to think about that. I'm not really sure. Let's see. Please do a video on the Titanic's tenders. Maybe. We'd have to take a look at that. I'd have to look and see if there was something I could do with that. It's me. Is this iCarly? Is this iCarly? Hey, believe it or not, iCarly, I actually enjoyed that show when I was a kid. I thought it was pretty funny. I think they're bringing that back, aren't they? I think they are bringing that back. Let's see. Dave, Sam, I messaged you on Facebook. Yes, I do try to respond to them. It's hit or miss if you catch me or not. Let's see. Benjamin, hi, Sam. I love the video yesterday. I also love the Titanic. 2 questions. Number 1, where was First Officer Murdoch? 2, why did the Britannic have a big gash in the bow section? Keep up the good work. Okay. First Officer Murdoch was on the bridge, and he remained around that area. Like, he was on the ship's starboard side throughout the sinking. And I read a testimony that he was actually last seen going into the water with collapsible A on the ship's starboard side as the bow was beginning its final plunge. That was his last reported sighting. He definitely didn't shoot himself, at least. That's what most of this testimony says. And as far as the Britannic having that big gash in her side, essentially what that was as the Britannic was still moving forward as the ship was sinking, because the Captain Bartlett, yeah, he was trying to beach the Britannic before it sank, so the ship still had forward momentum. Then as the Britannic went down, it was rolling over onto her starboard side. The Britannic hit the seafloor like this, and the stern of the Britannic was still above the surface. So the Britannic's bow dug into the seafloor, and then as the ship flooded and began to fall, this part of the stern just bent and warped and ripped until the ship went level like that. That's basically why. Another super chat, 5 from Emmett. Thank you so much. Like the Empress of Ireland, you should do the Andrea Doria. Trust me, it's on the list. And have a great night, Sam. Well, thank you so much, Emmett, and thank you so much for the 5. Mr. Aiden, hey, Sam, I have another question for you. You are one of the 3 people who read my questions. Okay, thanks. Maritime history, quick question. Were the Titanic coal workers, were they bad? Were they not paid well? Essentially, the laborers on the Titanic, like the boiler rooms and stuff like that, it was a lower paying job. I know that much. As far as the exact amounts of money that they made, I'm not 100% certain, but it was a very labor intensive job. But I'd have to look into the exact numbers of how much it was. But everybody was paid on Titanic. Larry, 10, thank you so much. What if Titanic would have dropped its anchors? Would it have sank slower? A what if video, maybe. Well, short answer, no, that wouldn't do anything. I might be able to do a video like talking about a bunch of details, because I do get asked that question a lot. Essentially, the Titanic's anchors, while very big and very heavy, they would not have done a lot in the grand scheme of things of the flooding. You know, I mean, you have to think about how massive a ship Titanic is, and you can use this model for scale. Right here at the very front, there's the anchor. So you can see how small the anchor was, or 2 anchors was, in comparison to the whole ship. Now, I believe there was another anchor at the top. There were 3 anchors on Titanic, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I believe so. But yeah, they wouldn't have done a lot in the grand scheme of things. You know, not for that kind of damage. Chris, where is that model from? It's from Titanic Honor and Glory. I bought it from them. Finley, hi, Sam. I love your videos. Have you heard of the Miracle Girl? She was sleeping on the Andrea Doria and woke up. Really? I didn't know that. I need to look into the Andrea Doria a little bit more. I'm not an expert on that shipwreck. AV, another 5. Thank you so much, AV. Love the videos. What are your thoughts on the theory that J.B. Ismay was ordered into a lifeboat by the officer so he could testify about the disaster? Okay, as far as my direct opinion about that, I believe he was ordered into the lifeboat. I have no evidence to back that up, but I definitely don't believe Ismay deserves all of the hate that he gets. You know, he was definitely no Scatino. That's for darn sure. He helped a lot of people escape the Titanic, you know, and he didn't leave the ship until, I don't think, right around, it was close to 2 a.m. before he left the Titanic. So I get why he looked bad, you know, especially his behavior on the Carpathia. You know, he tried to send that that image or that message, and then he spelled his name backwards. So that, like, his whole idea was to get on the Carpathia, go to New York, and then get on another White Star ship and get back to England as quickly as possible. You know, he didn't look good. He didn't want the American police to get him. And, you know, the fact that he got off the ship and didn't even get his feet wet and stuff like that, I mean, I get why he didn't look good. But was he a villain in the disaster? No, I don't. So, yeah, that's just one of those things, you know. I get why there's so much hate with him, but he didn't cause the disaster like some documentaries want you to believe. Let's see. Adrienne, can you do the Oceanus? It's on the list. Let's see. Leslie, could the Lusitania be considered a cousin to the Olympic? They're not the same company of ships, so I would say not. You know, they weren't, I mean, sister ships and stuff. I think you could say cousins would be like comparing the Big Four to the White Star, to the Olympic class. I think that'd be a better way to do comparisons like that. We got 2 more super chats, 5 from Meredith again. Thank you so much. Could Rose and Jack actually have access to the front of the ship? As far as I know, they could. I don't believe they had that area roped off. I know they had to rope it off on modern ships because people kept doing that and it was a hazard. Realm, another 5. I would love to mod for you if you need help. Also, is it possible for them to bring the Titanic to the surface and preserve it? I've heard them speak of it. Well, cool about the mod thing. We can talk about that in my Discord. But as far as them raising the Titanic at this point, there's no way. Honestly, even if they tried 100 years ago and they had the technology to go down that deep, I don't know if they could, because you have to remember that's 2.5 miles underwater. You know, and even if they could do it, the best time to even try would be right after the sinking. But the Titanic hit the ocean floor after falling for 2 miles. And you think about how heavy this ship is. I mean, when it hit the bottom, think about the structural damage that would have happened, you know? I mean, and especially today with the ship just sitting at the bottom of the ocean for 109 years, the Titanic is in such a rapid state of decay that it would just fall apart if they tried to lift it up. It's barely holding itself together as is. Rusted, the Titanic is a rust bug and it would crumble. It's not technically rust because you need oxygen for rust to form. It's rusticles, you know, they're the bacteria that's eating the ship. So you could use the term rusting, kinda, but it's not really rust. Let's see. Good. Hey, Sam, how many ship models do you have and what is your biggest one? The biggest model I've got is that Titanic one I showed you guys a while back. As far as how many models I have in total, probably 8, 9, 10, somewhere around that. I don't have a huge collection. Timbo, most selfish person on the Titanic when it was sinking. Most selfish person on the Titanic. I'm trying to think of who I could classify as a villain. You know who I think I would consider to be one of the biggest villains that night was probably, well, he wasn't really a villain, but I strongly disagree with his behavior. And, well, you know what? He was, I guess you could probably call him a villain because of the way he was behaving, but it was Quartermaster Hitchens. You know, as while Captain Smith was yelling on the megaphone to come back to the ship and come back and help, Quartermaster Hitchens was in Molly Brown's lifeboat. And the people in there were like, we got to go back. We got to go back. And Hitchens was like, no, we are not going back. We are not doing that. With the captain on the megaphone yelling, come back to the ship. But at the same time, none of the other lifeboats came back either. Lifeboat number 2 did try to go back. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. That is a very tough one. Whoa! I was so lost in thought on that I didn't even notice. Dang on. Okay, we got 2 more super chats to deal with. We got 10 from Chris. How would things have gone down in the lifeboats if Carpathia was not around? How would things have gone down in the lifeboats if Carpathia was not around? How would the survivors have had to cope if they were stuck in the lifeboats for a day or more? That is a very difficult question, a very hard one to answer. I don't know what the exact food provisions were in those lifeboats. I think they had some bread and some basic stuff in some of the boats. But it wouldn't have been easy. It wouldn't have been easy. There was definitely no bathroom facilities in those rowboats, but I don't think it would have been a day. You know, there were other ships coming. The Mount Temple was 50 miles away. So I'd say, and you got to remember the Californian did show up a little bit later. The Californian showed up by morning. So I don't think they would have had to wait that long. You know, it wouldn't have been a day. That's for darn sure. But if they did have to wait a day, it wouldn't be pretty. But thank you so much for the 10. Let's see. Psych. Dang on, man. Thanks so much for the 100. Oh my gosh. I can't get over that. Seriously, guys, thank you so much for all the support. I have no words. Just thank you so much. All right. What do you have to say? Hi, Sam. Why do you think are we all so interested in Titanic? Serious question. Why do you think this ship/vessel is so interesting to us? There are so many other disasters. You know what? Very good question. And You know what it is about Titanic? Because I've even thought about this myself. The Titanic is just one of those things that it doesn't seem like it really happened. It's such a crazy story. I mean, think about it. You've got the biggest ship in the world, people from all classes of society. You've got the wealthy elite to the immigrants trying to start their new lives in America. And then you have this crazy disaster happen. The ship hits the iceberg. But instead of just dropping like a rock, the ship goes down so slowly that there's time for all of this stuff to happen. And I mean, it's almost like you could kind of compare it to like a drama film, except it really happened, And there's so many accounts, people all over the ship documented things, and so much testimony, and there's so much to it that it's one of those things where you think about what you would do if you had been on the deck. You had your heroes, you had your cowards, you had your villains, what would you do? Would you fight to survive? Would you wait inside the ship and, just see what happened? Would you try to get in a lifeboat? What would you do? How would you react? And, the Titanic just went down so slowly that the water just slowly came up. And then as the sinking progressed, it just got faster and faster and faster. And, it's just one of those things where it's just like, it's so crazy to think that a scenario like that really happened, And it really makes you think, what would you do if you would have been on the deck that night? How would you react if you were on board the Titanic? All right. Okay. But hey, thank you so much for the super chat, man. I hope I answered your question pretty well. But that's something that a lot of us think about. In the Titanic documentary, Ghosts of the Abyss, James Cameron and they were all talking about it. And there was this joke that I'll never forget. And they said, can you imagine a fish swimming along at the bottom of the ocean? And then all of a sudden it sees the Titanic just slam into the ocean floor right in front of this fish. And he's like, you know what the fish would have done? Whoa. That always made me laugh. That always made me laugh. All right, let's get to these super chats. Holy cow. I'm getting so behind. Okay. Cameron, 10, thank you so much. Hey, Sam, have you done a full sinking in Britannic Patriots of the Mediterranean? Would you consider streaming and maybe narrating it? I have done that, and I've used the game for several of my animations in the past. That's a good idea. Maybe I will stream that, do a video game stream of me playing the Britannic game. Super chats that I need to try to address. TCH sent 5. No question, though, TC. Hello. Your connection is unstable. Please wait while we're trying to reconnect. Okay, can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Hello, testing. Am I here? I just got a ping that I might be offline. Test, can you guys see me? Okay, my computer just said I may have gone offline, so I'm just checking. All right, okay, we're good. All right, back to the super chats. Okay, TCH5, thank you so much for the super chat. No question, but thank you for the 5. All right, Tony 5, thank you so much. Hey, Sam, will you ever make a video about the Concorde crash of 2000? I think it'd make a pretty good video. I've never thought about, Concorde crash. I never really thought about doing that before, but it's definitely an interesting idea. I will go ahead and add that to the list. Thank you so much for the 5. Concorde crash, very interesting. I need to do some aviation videos. I think as far as the first aviation disaster I'm going to cover, it'll probably be the Hindenburg. I get a lot of requests for that. Next super chat, we've got Alex. Thank you so much, 2. Hey, Sam, do you think 9/11 was crazier than Titanic? You can't really compare 9/11 to Titanic. They were both horrible, horrible disasters, but they were both horrible in their own ways. They've each had their own aspects of the way that the disasters played out. You can't really compare the two, That's my opinion. They were both horrible, horrible, horrible tragedies. Sebastian, 2, thank you so much. Can you do the battleship Bismarck? It's on the list. Justin C, 5, thank you. I was under the wrong account under Realm. My apologies. James Cameron theory on how it broke up was wrong. It broke up near the second funnel. I haven't heard that before. As far as I'm aware, the breakup occurred right underneath the third funnel, maybe directly forward. Because when the ship broke in half, she broke a half right around here. And then based on the wreck and how the stern section is, big chunks of the Titanic superstructure broke off right around underneath the third funnel. So yeah, because the second funnel is still more, you can still see the whole of it on the wreck. It broke into right around this zone right here, directly in front of the third funnel, and then the superstructure broke off underneath the third funnel. That's That's the way I've always understood it and how it is. Jason, wait, hang on. Shoot, I just lost that super chat. Jason, can you do the USS Indianapolis? It's on the list. I've got that one on the list. Did I miss something? No. Dom5, thank you so much. What are your thoughts on China making a replica of the Titanic? Will you go on it? Love, Dom from the UK. Well, thank you so much, Dom. Honestly, I've talked about that before, and I would much rather them build a building museum of the Titanic than them actually try to recreate the ship. Because think about it. The Titanic is oh, that's not good. See, this is why my models keep breaking, because I drop them sometimes. But let's see. We're good. No problems. No damage. Woohoo! Anyway, but the Titanic is a dinghy by modern day. The Titanic is a dinghy by modern day ship standards, and you can't rebuild the Titanic and have it be a vessel that that actually sails. You know, it's not legal to do so, and people wouldn't want to sail on the Titanic if they rebuilt it exactly as it was 100 years ago. You have to remember, third class. They only had 2 bathrooms for entire third class. Now, what I mean is, I'm not referring to toilets. They had plenty of toilets, but as far as bathing yourself, they only had 2 bathrooms. So you couldn't do that. So essentially, if they rebuilt the Titanic and made it like a ocean liner or a cruise ship, it would just look like it on the outside, maybe have some similar rooms on the inside, but it wouldn't be the ship. And honestly, the Titanic's so small by modern day comparisons that, I mean, I don't think they should. You know, I think they're trying to capitalize on a disaster, and I don't think that's right. However, them building a building that looks like the Titanic and making it like a museum and it stays true to the original design of Titanic, I like that idea, because I think that if you build a museum, you can make it more or less period specific, and we could see what life was like for these people 100 years ago. So I'm more pro of them building a building. It just depends on how they do it. I hope it's not a joke Titanic. I hope they try to make it accurate. But yeah, that's my opinion on that. Okay, let's go to TCH. All right, you asked the question. Yay. Well, thank you for the super chat earlier, but I always like it when people who donate to my channel, they always ask a question, because I like to give you guys something for helping me out as well. All right, 5, thank you. Hello, Sam. Why doesn't the design of ships have huge bumpers to prevent perforation if it hits an iceberg? Okay, a bumper. Interesting idea. But essentially, the whole idea around the bow of these ships is they wanted them to be able to slice through the water, you know, and have the water go around it and make it like hydrodynamic properties. You know, if they put a big bumper at the front to bounce icebergs away, that kind of defeats the purpose. It'd be less fuel efficient. And not to mention, given how big ships are, if it still hit a berg, that wouldn't be good either. So. Okay, we got 2 more super chats. Okay, Mr. Pete, 5, thank you so much. My first donation to your excellent channel. Thanks so much, Mr. Pete. How far was the Californian really? I heard she was a slowpoke. Could she have made it in time? That's a question that is highly debated. I believe the Californian, even though there's conflicting testimony with it, I believe the Californian was within 10 miles of the Titanic. That's what I think. Could it have made it to the Titanic on time? That's another question for debate. Depends on the ice field, and there's a lot of factors, but I think it could have. I really do think that if the Californian's radio had been on and they tried to make it to the Titanic, they could have. I really think they could have. But again, this is a highly debated topic, so it all depends on who you ask. But I think the California was within 10 miles of the Titanic. Hey, Grandma Hampa, thank you so much for the 10, man. Hello, Sam. Have you uncovered anything interesting about the Titanic's use of the distress signal CQD and SOS? I understand that both were sent at a time when SOS was just starting to be adopted. Well, you're right. SOS was a very new concept at the time. And the whole idea around SOS was that it was simple and easy for amateur wireless operators to pick up. I mean, you don't have to know Morse code, but SOS is like, that's SOS. 3 dots, dash. That's SOS. So the whole idea was that if you know nothing about wireless, you would hear that and know that there's a problem. You know, it's like 911 in the States. Very simple, easy to understand. So, and what was the rest of your question there after my explanation? I understand the both were sent. So yeah, CQD was what they started to do. SOS, Titanic was not the first ship to use SOS. It is the most famous, But I believe the first ship to actually use the SOS signal was the Republic. Let me know in the chat if I'm wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure it was the RMS Republic. Let me know in the chat if I'm right about that, because I'm fairly certain I'm right, but not 100%. Another super chat, 109 from Jasper. Thank you so much, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have you seen the latest video from Part-Time Explorer about Lifeboat number 2? Very interesting video. Yes, I have. That video was incredibly interesting, and I didn't know about that stuff. That was a very good video, and that was the author, the guy talking and narrating in that video. That was Kent Layton, the author of On a Sea of Glass. If you guys have not watched that video yet, I highly encourage you to do so, because he actually had the author on board On a Sea of Glass. And just the way they figure things out, you know, which direction did the lifeboat row and everything. I mean, that was an incredibly well done video. So seriously, guys, go check out that video, because if you haven't heard me talk about it before, in my opinion, On a Sea of Glass is essentially the Bible on the Titanic. I mean, anything you want to know about the Titanic is in this book. And hopefully yours doesn't have a tea stain on it. So, but yes, definitely go check out that video. Another super chat, 25 from Random. Thank you so much, Random. Hey, Sam, can you cover the Queen Anne's Revenge or the Carpathia? The Queen Anne's Revenge is one of the Blackbeard ships. And I think you know the Carpathia, since it was part of the Titanic story. The Queen Anne's Revenge. I do not know that much about it, but I do not believe I have that on my list. So I will add that to the list right now. Thank you so much for that super chat. 25. Wow. Thank you so much, man. That's incredible. Queen Anne's Revenge, Blackbeard. Boom. The only pirate ship that I actually know that much about is, okay, let me know in the chat. Have you ever heard of this vessel? Like, keep it secret, guys, but the Black Pearl. Have you guys ever heard of the Black Pearl? It's supposed to be this crazy ship with black sails, Captain Jack Sparrow. Have you guys ever heard of it? Let me know in the chat. Have you ever heard of the Black Pearl? Okay, I admit I'm being silly again. Let's see. The Overthinker 10. Will you do the Kursk submarine disaster? I believe I've already got that on the list. Everybody, I'm not laughing at your question. I'm laughing at the chat. Those are the people who know me in real life will tell you that I am a bit of a jokester. I do like to pull jokes sometimes. Let me see here, the Kursk. I believe we've already talked about that, and it's on my list. Let me see, Kursk disaster. Nuclear power submarine sank in an accident on August 12, 2000. Let's see. I do not have this on my list yet. That's a great idea. Thank you so much for that. Let me add that to the list right now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The Kursk submarine disaster. Am I saying that right? Kursk? I don't think I'm saying that right. But thank you, thank you, thank you. How long is your list, Sam? Let's find out, shall we? How many ideas do I have on here? Apparently, I've got so many ideas that I stopped numbering them. We are definitely over 100 topics. We're definitely over 100. Did I miss any super chats? No, I think we're all caught up. Okay. Faw, thank you so much. Love your videos. You gave 5. Thank you so much, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Crazy. You're saying it right, Sam. Okay, awesome. Jonathan. Jonathan, man. Thank you so much for the 50, man. Jonathan, I seriously cannot thank you enough. The amount of support you've given for this channel, I mean, seriously, everybody who's on these super chats, just thank you so much. I mean, words can't express how much I appreciate this, guys. It just, the fact that you guys like my work so much to contribute to my channel like this, anyway, it means more than you guys could ever know. So just thank you guys so much. It's because of people like all of you that I'm able to do this for a job. You know, it means a lot. Just thank you guys so much. Did you guys like my what did you guys think of my Easter egg video that I did yesterday? Would you guys like me to do more Easter egg stuff like that in the future? Like maybe make them a little bit more elaborate, maybe a little bit more challenging. What did you guys think of the Easter egg video? Let's see. Lonnie, 5. Thank you so much. And thanks, Jonathan. I am well. I hope you are well too. And Psych, thank you so much for the 5. Sunday evening, Sam. Never change. Thanks so much, Psych. Loved it. I couldn't find the Easter egg. Yes. Can you do a video on this? Yes. Yes. Heck yes. Okay. All right. Everybody likes the Easter egg. All right. If the person is in ever shows up who actually got the code, I would love to meet whoever it was because I do not know who won that challenge. TCH, I missed the Easter egg. Do it again. All right, we'll figure something out. I may do another Easter egg thing. You know what? I might do some kind of another Easter egg thing for the 40,000 subscriber thing. I think I'll do that since we are coming up on the 40,000 subscriber mark, which is an absolutely insane number. I still can't get over that. Let's see. Jax, sure, please. I love that. Okay. Hang on a second, guys. I need a drink. Got the handy dandy mocha. All right. Indy 10, thank you so much, man. Pretty new around here. Love your channel. Great content from a cool guy. Thank you so much, Andy. Wait, hang on. I got an idea. That's right. I'm the cool guy. Told you I'm a jokester. Okay, let's see. Kevin, wait, was that the only? Okay. Kevin 5, thoughts on a video for the SS Leviathan. I'm not familiar with it, but I will go ahead and check that out. I will add that to the list. Thank you so much. New meme Sam alert. Oh my gosh. Great. Did I just make another meme with me in those sunglasses? I will add that to the list, man. Thank you so much for the super chat. The SS Leviathan. I'm not familiar with that. Let's see. 10 from Jared. Thank you so much. Clear of the rail, please. Money away. Thanks so much, Jared. You guys are awesome. Steve, meme review. As soon as Rachel comes back into town, we're going to do it. Me and her have been talking about that for a while now. We just didn't get a chance last time she was here, but we will do it. We will get to the meme review. Let's see. Maritime history. How far was the Britannic from Kia Island when she sank? Also, how far was Britannic from when she hit the mine from the Sea of Kia? Also, okay. As far as how far away from the island of Kia was, I actually do not know that. Let's see. How far was Britannic from island of Kia? Let's take a look. It's called the 4 miles. So it was only 4 miles away. But when the ship went down, the water around it was 400 feet deep. Now, how far it was away from the mine, you know, I'm not 100% certain, but I've heard estimates that the Britannic only made it around 5 or 6 miles further into the water or further away from the mine detonation spot after she hit. Because you got to think, after the Britannic hit the mine, you know, she was flooding rapidly and she was just dropping like a rock, you know. And honestly, I'm surprised the Britannic lasted as long as it did under the circumstances it was in. I mean, it sunk quickly, but it still held itself together pretty good. You know, it didn't really drop until close to the end. Let's see. Steve, the SS Leviathan was one of the Imperator-class liners that was given to the U.S., and if I'm right, it was a plague quarantine ship during the Spanish flu. I will look into that. Thanks so much. Revision, is there a chance that you could do a video on the Normandy disaster? Normandy disaster, let me see. Normandy disaster. I feel like I should know what that is. The SS Normandy. Here we go. SS Normandy. Well, I found the Normandy, a ship, but I don't know if there's a disaster on it. Let's see. What was its fate? Fate. Caught fire. Oh, she caught fire and capsized. I did not know that. I'm not very familiar with the Normandy ship, but I didn't know that that happened to her. Interesting idea. I will add that to the list. The Normandy. Good idea. Very good idea. Listen, you guys give me such good video ideas. I need to do some research. I have learned so much from working with all you guys here on YouTube. You know, just me trying to dedicate to making these videos and make them as accurate as possible. Like, take the Edmund Fitzgerald, you know, like I knew that the ship went down in the Great Lakes, but as far as the details, like with the Anderson and all that, I didn't know all that. You know, making these videos has taught me so much about shipwrecks, guys. So thank you so much. But I will add that to the list. I believe the Normandy was on my list already, but I didn't know that it had an incident. Aren't there several Normandies? I believe there was. Let's see. Let's see here. Golden, hello. If Carpathia didn't sink, will the ship be a hospital ship or a troop ship? It all depends on what they need at the time, you know? Movie Maker, hey Sam, can you do a video on the Nomadic? It's on the list. I actually want to visit the Nomadic. The Nomadic's in Belfast, I believe. I'd like to go see it. Carver, hey Sam, have you ever heard of the SS Mary Electric or the SS Pendleton? I have not. I'm not familiar with those. I feel like the names are familiar, but Let's see. Bolt, do you know anything about the Honor and Glory video game? Just what they talk about, you know. I've met and talked to Tom Linsky a few times, but I don't know anything about the details of it. I'm not part of their team. Bay, I have a question. How did the engineering crew keep on working with the lights and not fall like the ship was going down? Did they like hang on or do something? Wait, okay, let me read that again. Bay, I have a question. How did the engineering crew keep on working with the lights and did not fall like the ship was going down? Okay, I get what you're saying. Well, one thing to keep in mind, the Titanic did not climb to a very steep angle until very close to the end. You know, because the Titanic's center of mass is closer to midship third funnel, right around where the engines are. The center of mass on Titanic is more right here because the Titanic's engines were roughly in this area. So the ship did not get to a very high angle like you see in the movie until literally the final moments, you know. And then after that happened and the ship broke, the power did go out, but the emergency lights did kick on. And I believe that was one of the Titanic's engineers down there to turn on the emergency generator because a few lights here and there did remain on the Titanic throughout the sinking. And I believe it was Charles Yaukin, and he said that the lights were burning right up to the last. You know, so that was the engineering crew. But as far as answering your question, it's because the Titanic didn't climb to an extremely high angle until the very end. Let's see, Joanne, can you do a video on the Queen Mary? The Queen Mary is on my list. And also, guys, I want to give a big thank you because I was visiting my parents today, and I don't know where she found it, but my mother found this incredible picture or design blueprints of the Queen Mary. They're vintage. I believe they're from the 60s or 70s. But anyway, she went through the trouble of framing this for me. Like, this is unbelievable. The Queen. Does anybody in the chat know, like, what era this is from? Like, I think it was like the 60s and 70s. But this is absolutely insane. So, Ma, if you're watching this, thank you so much. Because this blew my mind. This absolutely blew my mind. But I do not know exactly when it's from, but I do think it's like the late 60s, 70s, if I had to guess. Awesome. 19. That's not from the 30s, is it? The paper doesn't seem like it's that old. You think that's from the 30s? Whoa, Luke, hi. It's like, your mom rules. Yeah, she does. My mom's awesome. Let's see. Whoa. The ship was from the 30s. Yeah, I know the Queen Mary was from the 30s, but I was wondering when those plans were from or when that paper was from. I thought it was like the 60s or 70s. You know, I know the ship was retired in the 60s, but I was just trying to figure out when those were from, when that actual paper was from. Let's see. The best YouTuber. Hey, Sam, what's your job? Right now, YouTube is my job. Before YouTube, I worked as a technician on a copper mine in Arizona. And then before that, I worked for AT&T. I've done all kinds of stuff over my life. I worked on a surface mine in Arizona. I was a quality control technician. If you give me a second, I will find a picture. But essentially, I worked on a surface mine. You know, they are building a leach pad for a copper mine. That's basically where I worked. I was one of the guys working out here in the middle of the desert of Arizona. That's what I did before COVID. Let's see. Insurance. Sam, can you do a bit on the investigation into the sinking of the RMS or Arabic that was sunk in 1915? I'm not familiar with that, but I'll go ahead and add that to the list. Thank you so much. I didn't know about that boat. Hang on, the Arabic. Thanks so much. Let's see. Critical. What is your favorite sinking ship movie? If you want historically accurate movie, it's probably the James Cameron Titanic movie if you want something history. And I know the James Cameron movie has historical inaccuracies, but it's pretty accurate for what we knew in the 90s. So I'd say that one. If you want fictional ship movies, I would probably have to go with either, don't hate me for what I'm about to say, but I have not seen the classic Poseidon movie. I have not seen the classic one, but I have seen the 2007 remake and I liked it. I like that movie. And I like Ghost Ship. I really like the Ghost Ship movie. Let's see. Leslie, where is the Olympic on your schedule? It's on the list. I'll get to it eventually. I will definitely have to get to the Olympic. Captain Alex, Sam, you got the Oceanus on the list. The changing on the screen was funny. Oh, okay. I'm glad you guys like that. Seriously, guys, you have no idea how many times I had to do that intro for the for my little intro, like me on the TV behind, because if you guys thought that was distracting, like while you were watching the Empress video and you saw me on the TV in the back, imagine how that was for me trying to film it, because I kept wanting to look at my phone screen and look at the image in the background. And every time it would come up, I would keep reacting to it, you know? And it's like, no, I need to do this shot. Like, I don't even know it's there. And that took so many takes. It took so many takes to make that work. But I'm really glad you guys liked it. It was the same with the code. You know, when I put the movie code in, that, like, there were so many takes with that where I reacted to the code popping up, and I'm like, no, don't do that. Everything's got to be just like a normal episode with just a little bit of stuff going on in the background. Hang on a sec, guys. I need a drink. Don, you would love the original Poseidon movie. I need to watch it at some point. Lisa D, welcome to the show. Let's see, where are we at? Nomad, can you say happy birthday for my brother Seth? Sure. Happy birthday, Seth. Everybody here, say happy birthday, Seth. Everybody wish Seth a happy birthday. Let's see. Bay, can you do a video on the Donya Pause? That's next weekend. Donya Pause is next weekend. I'm shooting to release that video on Saturday of next week. Oh, did I miss a 5 super chat? I did. Oh, Jim, thanks for the 5. Hey, Sam, sorry I can't donate more at this time because you deserve so much more. If I ever meet you, I could talk Titanic with you for hours. Jim, honestly, man, if you're having a hard time or anything, don't feel like you need to donate or anything at all. I really appreciate all the support. And seriously, just the fact that you gave me 5 is amazing. So thank you so much for all the support, man. I really couldn't do it, but yeah, just thanks, man. You're everything that everybody does to help support the channel just means the world to me. And listen, everything you do is awesome. So thanks so much, man. But don't ever feel like you have to contribute. I want you to know that. But all the support you do give, it means a ton. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. That's awesome. Kaiser, where was the mine you worked at? I live in Prescott, Arizona. I lived in Safford. I lived in Safford, Arizona, in between Tucson and Phoenix. That's about where I lived. The Overthinker, 5. Have you seen a sci-fi channel movie called Ghost Boat about a haunted submarine? I have not. That sounds interesting, though. I'm going to look that up. I am definitely going to look that up. That actually sounds really funny. Is it a comedy? Is it like something scary? What is it? Whoever left me that comment that they live in Arizona, if you want to know exactly where I was, this is a mountain really close to the mine. It's called Mountain Graham. There's an observatory there. And the town right beside that mountain is the town I lived in Arizona. I am planning to go back there and do a video on it because I really like Safford and I really miss it after I left. There's a great community there. It's a great little town. And oh my gosh. I'm going to show you guys this real quick. If you guys want to see a really funny picture of Rosie, this is Rosie jumping into the river. That dog loves water. I love that picture. That just showed up in my message history. That was awesome. Let's see. Chase, how old are you? I am 29. I will be 30 in a couple months. Mark, 10. Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you. No question, though. I wish you would have asked him the question. If you guys donate, please ask a question because I'd like to answer them. Lisa D. Rosie. Let's see. Sam, when is your birthday? It's in August. Drown, can you do a video on the last RMS ship? Interesting. I never thought about that. I'd have to look into it a little bit, but thank you for the idea. Indy, 5, thank you so much. One last donation. Thank you so much, Indy. Was curious if you've been to any lighthouses. They're pretty important to maritime history, and they are very beautiful. I've been to several lighthouses. The most notable one that I can think of off the top of my head was the St. Augustine Lighthouse. I was there, and I do remember that there was a Ghost Hunters episode in that lighthouse as well. So I watched a few freaky Ghost Hunter videos the other day. Excuse me. CB Punk 10, thank you so much. Hey, Sam. Hey, CB. Have you ever sailed on the Queen Mary 2? Curious as to what it's like because I'm hoping to take some kind of trip on it someday after the pandemic is entirely behind us. I have not, but I really want to. I've been looking into going overseas. Like it seems like countries are starting to open up finally, like if you've been vaccinated and everything. And I've been looking into where I want to travel, and I really want to do a European trip. And then when I come home on the Queen Mary 2, like do the transatlantic voyage. I really want to do that. I think that would be an incredible, incredible journey. So that is definitely something that I would absolutely love to do. Oh, look what's right here. Oh, I have boat stuff everywhere. But this is from my stay on the Queen Mary. And I like the container, so I kept it. But it's a little chocolate, like a little chocolate case. But chocolates are long gone because I was on the ship in November of 2019. But I like the case. So it'd be really, really cool to do a voyage on the Queen Mary 2, because I don't know if I told you guys this before, but there was when I was a kid, there was a guy who taught me violin. His name was John Lambros. And, you know, he was like a grandfather to me. You know, I loved him like a grandfather. I knew him for 10 plus years, and he passed away a couple of years ago. He was 98 years old. But anyway, during World War II, he sailed on this ship. He sailed on the Queen Mary 2. He fought in World War II, you know, and he told me that there was one point where he was working in a military hospital, and there were members of like he all the stuff that he saw was unreal. Okay, let's see here. Hold on a second, guys. I believe, okay, we're all caught up. Let's see. I cannot pronounce your name. Alaster. 5, thank you so much. Love your videos. I have 2 questions. Number 1, opinion on the film. I'm not familiar with that film. I have never seen it. And are you going to talk about the fate of the Carpathia in World War I? Yes, I'm definitely going to cover that. But yeah, I have not seen that movie before, so I do not know anything about that. But thank you for the super chat, man. Thank you, thank you. Derby5, thank you so much. Thanks for everything you do. I can't wait to post more videos about ships on my channel. Thank you. Ever think about making a video about the Bermuda Triangle? It's on the list. And with the Bermuda Triangle, I'm actually going to be covering the Mary Celeste. That's going to be one of the first things I do. And I'm also going to talk about Flight 19. Flight 19 is definitely a crazy story. Definitely a very, very crazy story. Let's see. Nautical Study 5, thank you so much. Hey, bro, awesome. Would you be down for a collab in the future? Even a convo with you would be awesome. And we seem to do somewhat similar content. Sure, Nautical Study. I'm always open to doing collabs. I haven't really done anything yet directly. As far as collaborations are concerned, me and Tom Linsky have talked about doing some stuff in the future. We haven't set anything in stone yet, but we've talked about it. But yes, I would be open to doing some collabs. Just join my Discord, man. That's the best way to try to reach me. But one tip about trying to talk to me in Discord, you have to talk to me. The best time to try to reach me is if I'm online, because I come and go a lot and I get a lot of DMs, and I try to answer them, but I don't always get to all of them. So it's just wait until I'm active and then try to message me. And because that's the best. I'm not saying I won't respond if you DM me and I'm not there, but it's much less likely that I'll see it. So that's the best tip. But yes, I'm definitely interested in doing a collab. Garrett, make a video about the aft grand staircase for that. All right. All right. It's on the list. It's on the list. I will get to the aft grand staircase. I will talk about that. San Jose, how about a videos on the Civil War and the Bismarck versus the Hood? Bismarck versus the Hood. I'm going to talk about that whole thing when I talk about the Bismarck. What the heck is that? Something on my screen. But as far as Civil War, I haven't thought about much with that, but I do want to do a video on the Hunley. I have thought about doing that. Let's see. Georgia, Sam normally pops up in general chat. Yep, that's usually what happens. I usually just pop in and say hello. Johan, 5, thank you so much. Hey, Sam from Australia. Hello from West Virginia. Australia, that's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. Would love to see you do a video about our most famous shipwreck, the HMAS Sydney, that sunk in the battle in 1940. I have never heard of that. That is extremely interesting. I'm going to add that to the list right now. Australia's most famous shipwreck. That is extremely interesting. I don't know much about Australia's naval history, or maritime history, I should say, but that's incredible. Thank you so much. You know, one of the most crazy things about doing this whole thing, I was actually talking to a few people in my Discord about this not too long ago. I remember, who here in the chat knows what a ham radio is? Does anybody in the chat know what a ham radio is? Let me know in the chat if you know what that is. Let's see. Maritime history. What are the 3 models you're still waiting for? Olympic, Mauritania, and Aquitania. I was drawing a blank. Angus 1, thank you so much. Me, yes, yes. I do. Yep. Okay. Me. Okay. Chris, hello from Halifax. Hello from West Virginia. Yep. Okay. For those of you who don't know, ham radios are basically how people talk long distance before the internet and satellites and stuff. But I remember, like, when I was a kid, we had dial-up internet. Dial-up internet was the big thing at the time. And I remember that I was in Cub Scouts and they had a ham radio set up. And they turned it on and they said, Sam, I think I was like 10. And he's like, Sam, you can talk to somebody in this radio. And I said, hello. And I started talking to this guy in South Africa. And I remember that just blew my 10-year-old mind. I'm like, I'm talking to somebody on the other side of the planet. I mean, it just blew my mind. And now here, 12 years or 20 years later, 20 years later, YouTube, these live streams. I mean, I'm talking to you guys and people here all over the world. And honestly, it's just mind blowing. It blows my mind when I see that I'm talking to somebody in Australia or Ireland or everywhere all over the world. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. Let's see here. Angus, another $1. Whoa. Angus, I think you just gave me a bunch of like $1, but thank you so much. Thank you. Gez, hello from Glasgow, Scotland. Hello from West Virginia. Psych, I love these stories. Awesome. That means a lot, guys. Mr. Aiden, hey, Sam, I got to go. Peace. Well, have a good night, Aiden. Just as a quick heads up, guys, we are coming up on the 1 hour mark, so I'll probably keep the live stream going for another 5 to 10 minutes, and then we're going to wrap it up for the night. But honestly, this has been a lot of fun, but we're still going to go for a little bit longer, so any more questions you would like to see? Martin, what are your thoughts on the government releasing information about UFOs? Okay, we're going to talk. I can talk about that. My opinion on UFOs and aliens and stuff like that, I don't know. Now, when I say that, I do think it's highly likely that there are other planets out there with life on them. I do think that. As far as what UFOs are, I think most of them can be explained, or a lot of them can be explained, but then there are the ones that can't. There are the ones that can't be explained. Like Christopher Columbus, he said that he saw a UFO and he described it. And the way that those UFOs were acting in those videos was definitely crazy. Like the ones that blow my mind are the ones where you see a UFO cruising along at 200-300 miles an hour and then it just stops and then zooms off in another direction. I'm like, the G-forces in that alone would tear somebody inside it to shreds. I'm like, definitely interesting. Definitely interesting. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know what they are, but it's definitely, it's got me like, But as far as what they are, I don't know. How's that for an answer? Let's see here. Another super chat from, let's see, Aster. I have a family who was in World War I, and my great-grandfather, who I met a few times, talked fondly of the RMS Olympic. Wow, your great-grandfather was on the Olympic? That's incredible, man. That is absolutely incredible. That's crazy. That's awesome. And join the Discord. I would love to talk to you about that. Captain Alex, Columbus saw a UFO. Yeah, it's written about it. I watched a documentary about it. It said that he saw something glowing underneath the boat. It shot up above his boat, then it zoomed off and onto the horizon. They say that that's written in his journal. Let's see. Gers, you should talk about the MV Compliance. I'm not familiar with that. It's sunk in Greenock, Scotland in 1960 and is visible today as resting place out of the water. It would be interesting. I'll need to look into that. I'm not that familiar with that, but very interesting. Let's see. Whoa, 2 more super chats. Chad S, another 5. Thank you so much, Chad. I've been watching your stuff. How close was the Titanic from the warmer waters you described in one of your videos inland? Let's see. The Titanic's closest land, I believe it was 400 miles away, 400 miles south of Newfoundland. I believe Newfoundland was the closest land to Titanic. And as far as how close it was to the border between the warm waters of the Gulf Stream and the Labrador Current cold waters, I'm not certain, but I know it was close because the mirage effect would only be active around the border area between the hot and cold air. Once the Titanic continued on and the air currents got more normal in temperature, the mirage effect would go away. So as far as exactly where the border was, I can't say for certain, but I do know that it was relatively close to where the Titanic was. Honestly, a good way to figure that out would be to find out, I wonder if there's a timestamp on when they started logging the temperature drops. That might be a good way to figure that out. I need to look into that. Let's see. Whoa. All right, let's do. Zachary5, can you please make a video about the Clive Cussler and the amazing shipwreck discoveries? I'm not familiar with that, but I will go ahead and add that to the list about Clive Cussler. I'm not familiar with him, but I will add that to the list. Thank you so much. I'm guessing he's an ocean explorer. I feel like I should know who that is. Let's see what else we got. Goen, thank you so much for the 10. Thank you for your reply. Yes, the HMAS Sydney sunk in the battle with the German vessel Cormorant in the 19th of November 1941 off the coast of Perth. She was lost for years and not found until 2008. That's crazy, man. I will definitely do some research into that. I definitely will do that. That's incredible. That is a very interesting story. I'm not familiar with Australia's maritime history, but I would really like to learn more about it. Martin, 5, thank you so much. If Rusticles could be stopped destroying the ship, do you think we should or reduce it to if Rusticles could be stopped destroying the ship, do you think we should or reduce its glowing or leave it? If they could stop the Rusticles and find a way to get them off the Titanic, I would be pro them getting rid of it because that would preserve the wreck. I don't believe you could raise the Titanic, but I'm all for trying to preserve the actual site. You know, it'd be a way to keep the memory of Titanic alive if we could do that, you know? Let's see. Crazy. Will you do a video on the Carpathia? My great-grandfather was a stoker on it when it sank. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. But yes, the Carpathia is on the list, and I will get to it. Let's see. Oh, is my sister here? Rachel, I didn't know you were here. Hi, Ray. Hi, sis. Let's see. For those of you who don't know, give me just a second, guys. Give me just a second. I didn't even see that Rachel hopped into the chat. For those of you who don't know, me and my sister did another video together where she made the last meal in 3rd class, and she surprised me with it. There's a link to my sister's video. Make sure you go check that out. I'll post that in my community page as well. I didn't even know that Rachel was here. Hi, sis. Hang on a second. Where is she? Come here. Someone's tired. Rachel, someone says hi. Look who's here, Ray. Look who's at my house. Oh, she's sleepy. Let's see. Okay, yes. Can you do a video on what happened after the Titanic sinking? Like what happened to the world after it hit the mainland? Yes, I am going to be talking about all of that after when I get to the Titanic timeline story. That's what I'm going to I'm going to talk about the effect of Titanic as far as the entire world and how all of that played out. I am going to talk about all that stuff. Winnie, that is my sister's cat, Winnie. My parents are watching her for a bit, and then my parents went out of town for a bit, so I ended up watching her for a little bit. But that's Winnie. She's I've never really thought of myself as a cat guy, but I really, really love Winnie. She's such a baby. Do you guys want to see Rosie before I conclude the stream? Because it's about that time to wrap up the live stream for tonight. Would you guys like to see Rosie? I can bring Rosie out one more time if you guys would like. Rabbit pie. Yes, rabbit pie. Blue, will you do a video about Pearl Harbor? That's on the list. Yes. All right. Let me get Rosie before I conclude the stream. I already gave her a bone today. Let me see what she's doing. Rosie is sound asleep on the couch, and I don't really want to wake her up, so she is sound asleep on the couch. She had a big day today, so no Rosie sighting tonight. I don't have a bone or I don't have jerky to give her, so she already had a bone today. But Rosie will make an appearance next week. We'll do that. All right, one last question, and then we're going to conclude the stream for tonight, guys. One last question. This has been a great live stream. Let's see. Let's see. Let's get a Titanic question here. Golden, hello, Sam. How come the Olympics survived ramming a light ship and other things but didn't sink? Honestly, look at my Empress of Ireland video. Whenever a ship has a collision with something at the front, it's a lot easier for the vessel to survive than a side collision because the front of the ship is designed to slice through the water. So that same effect can actually happen to ships or anything else it hits. Now, that being said, I don't think the Titanic would have survived a head-on collision with the berg, not at those speeds, because an iceberg's really thick, really heavy. It's not like a ship where it's just steel and stuff like that. So, but that's why, the front of a vessel is designed to slice through the ocean water and make it more hydrodynamic. But that same effect can actually cause the ship to slice in the hulls and stuff if it hits. So that's a big reason for that. But yep. All right, everybody. Well, hey, thank you all so much for everything tonight. This was a great live stream. It was a ton of fun. Same time next week, Sunday at 7:30 p.m. We will be going live again. Thank you guys so much for all the super chats. Thank you so much for all the great questions. You guys are incredible, and I love doing these videos and live streams every week. But yeah, as far as what the Titanic video we're going to cover this week is, I'm not 100% certain. I'll figure something out. But I do know that next weekend, we are going to cover the Doña Paz finally. That's going to be the other ship video we're going to cover. And I'm shooting to release that video on Saturday. Hopefully an earlier release this time. But yeah, Titanic video during the week and then Doña Paz on the weekend. All right, everybody. Well, hey, thank you all so much for all the support. You guys are incredible. I could not do it without you guys. So guys, just keep doing what you do. You guys are awesome. All right, everybody. Well, hey, you all stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good night, everybody, and thank you again for all the support.